Welcome to the MacroHabits podcast. I'm your host, Hannah. I'm so excited for today's episode. I'm going to be diving into my Accutane journey. This is one of my most asked questions, or a highly asked question. I've been super vulnerable and transparent online about my acne and especially doing Accutane. So I'm excited to break it down for you guys today and get granular, give you all the information. I wish that there was a podcast when I was debating on whether I was going to do Accutane or not, like the one I'm going to create today. Because when I was, in that process of going through the pros and cons, I feel like I was in the dark a little bit. I was only fed a lot of fear-mongering content around Accutane, and I wish that I would have had a perspective like mine, where I'm just sharing my, authentic experience with it. I'm not trying to sway you to do it or not, but I am excited to be able to give you my take. So if you are someone that is dealing with really bad acne or cystic acne, or just have been really frustrated with your skin and been considering doing Accutane, hopefully this will give you some insight on my experience and just answer your questions. Before we get into that, I want to do a little chatty catch up on some things I'm loving. So first is Airy Sweats. I have been sleeping on Airy Sweats. There's a specific kind that Airy makes that I'm going to link down below. If you are a tall girl, you need these sweats. I am obsessed with them, and I love Airy because they also have the sizing in short as well. So if you're a short girl, they appeal to you as well. Airy does not discriminate. They are here for the short and the tall, and I am so happy and grateful for that. I wish that every brand had tall and short. I don't know why they don't. I feel like it should be required. That's just my hot take, probably because I have a really hard time finding inseams that are long enough. I'm 5'10", and I like a 34 to 36 inseam, which are nearly impossible to find. But Airy has solved the sweats problem. I love them. They're also really decently priced. They always have sales. I get both extra small tall and small tall, depending on if I want like a baggier fit or a more fitted look with the sweats. But like I said, I'll link them down below. Really good colors. They wash really well. I'm obsessed with them. They also have a really flattering fit. Like they're nice, wide leg, comfy, kind of drapey sweat. They're just the best. I wear them all the time. Next thing is, this last weekend, I binged a new Netflix show, and I am not really a show binger. I kind of watch them periodically, usually like one episode a day or one episode a night. It was a really rainy weekend in Orange County this past weekend, and I took full advantage of that and watched the entire show series of The Beast in Me. You guys, it was so good. Definitely different than most shows I normally watch. I'm a reality TV gal. Like, I love Selling Sunset and Real Housewives, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like, I love all that stuff. But The Beast in Me was so good. It has Brittany Snow, David Lyons. It was definitely a little bit scarier, more of a thriller type of series. It did have like elements of romance and comedy, but it was pretty dark overall, just warning you. There were some episodes where I felt that little bit of a anxious fight or flightness because of like what I watched, but it was so good I couldn't look away. Like, it was just the best series. So if you're looking for a series to binge, watch The Beast in Me. I loved it. If you have watched it, let me know down below or comment if you've liked it. I'm also always looking for new show series. So if you have any that you're obsessed with, DM me them or drop a comment down below, because I love having a show to watch. It's like the icing on the cake for a good day. When I have a good show that I'm going to watch that night, it makes me work harder throughout the day. I want to get all my little things done. I want to check off all my tasks so I can watch my show at night and marinate in whatever skincare I'm doing. It's like you shower, you get a little snack, you do your skincare, you watch your show. It's just the best way to end the day. So let me know what shows you're watching down below. Another thing is, it is soup season and I am fully leaning into it. I have been making so many good high protein macro friendly soups. I'm posting them all on my Instagram. I'm currently like in this soup series kind of, I don't know. I'm making a soup like every other night. I'm obsessed. I made a chicken pot pie one that I posted today. That one's up. That one has 34 grams of protein and is 240 calories per cup. So I'm really making these soups like healthy, high protein. I'm making a tomato one tonight that's higher protein. And then I'm making a homemade chicken noodle on Wednesday. I just have a bunch of soup recipes on my Instagram. So if you are in the mood to make soup, go stalk my Instagram because there's a ton and I'm just obsessed with them right now. I also love recipe creation. It's one of my favorite parts of my job is to take something that's not necessarily quote unquote healthy and then make it higher protein, better macros, and make it healthier for you. That's like, I think, one of the best parts of my job. So I've been having so much fun taking like for example, I posted one of the first ones I posted in this series was a broccoli cheddar. And I looked at a bunch of different recipes and I made kind of a higher protein, healthier one. And it turned out amazing. And that really sparked my interest in doing a little bit of a soup series just because it was so much fun. It's cozy, it tastes good. Everyone loves a soup. Soups are also so easy to make for the most part. And so I'm having a lot of fun with it. So check out my chicken pot pie one that I posted and stay tuned for others this week. This episode will come out after Thanksgiving, but I am posting really good gluten-free, dairy-free pumpkin pie bars on my Instagram on Wednesday, which are so good. I made them last year and they were one of my best performing recipes last fall. So I remade them. I'm going to repost them. I know, like I just said, this episode's coming out after Thanksgiving, but it's a great treat to bring for any type of winter or fall dinner. And they're dairy-free and gluten-free, so they can appeal to a larger crowd. They definitely are a crowd pleaser too. These ones are so good. I made them and they're just as good as last year. So having so much fun in the recipe creation department. Also, if you guys have anything that you want me to make or any ideas, or if you're like, oh, I wish I could make this, but it was just macro friendly or a little bit healthier, let me know because that's, like I just said, what I love doing is taking a recipe that's not as healthy and then making it healthier and posting it. Another thing that I did recently that is new for me is I got a spray tan. I have beef with the smell of a spray tan. I've gotten one before in Utah with my friend Brooklyn. She has the funniest video of me after. Maybe I'll like post it when this one goes live, but the spray tan sets very, very dark. Her name is Mads Tans. She's in Utah. I love her. She's amazing. The spray tan turned out incredible. This was like a few years ago. But I feel like people or just my friends, everyone's always getting spray tans. It looks good, especially in the winter, because if you can't tone it, you tan it. Everything looks better tan. Let's be real here. You look more toned, you look bronzy, you feel more confident. So as I've been in the trenches of the Orange County fall months and the UV is not a 10 anymore, I met a girl at Pilates. Her name is Val. I'm going to link her spray tan business down below. She's located in Laguna Beach if you're local. And I was talking to her and we got on the subject of spray tans and she started telling me about how she does spray tans and the process. And I was like, all right, I need to try this. Like I need to give it another shot. I'm intrigued. And I went and got one on Friday and I love it. It's so good. She did an incredible job, you guys. Very seamless application. I have nothing bad to say about the experience. It was so good. I highly recommend her. Like I said, I'm going to link her Instagram down below. You can just DM her to book. But I have beef with the spray tan smell. And this isn't the applicator's fault. Like this happened to me too when I got one in Utah. Like it's just the spray tan smell I have an issue with and it's a personal problem. And I'm only going to complain about it one time. I'm only going to complain about it once on this episode. But why does it have this weird kind of, I feel like when the spray tan smell mixes with your sweat, it's not pleasant. Like, I don't know. Does anyone have any hacks or tips on how to decrease the smell, eliminate it? Do you have a lotion that you use that combats it? That's my only thing is I know when you get a spray tan, you're supposed to be careful with like super, super hot water when you shower and different soaps. And I'm over here just like scrubbing my body the day after because although I love the look of the tan, I can't stand the smell. So even with me not being very careful with the spray tan protocol, the spray tan's lasting well. And it's not like, what's the word? Like, it's not like disintegrating on my skin or getting patchy or anything like that. It's like holding up really well. So kudos to Val because she does a great job. But yeah, if you have any tips in the spray tan realm, please let me know. DM me, drop a comment below because I am now kind of on my spray tan journey and I'm determined to figure out how to make them smell a little bit better with like a lotion or a body wash or I don't know. Or maybe it's just something I have to accept. And it's a part of looking tan and golden and bronzed is you have a little bit of a weird smell. So stay tuned. And lastly, I am drinking them right now. They are the Kion aminos. I have been obsessed with these aminos. I just started drinking them a few weeks ago and I love them. I usually drink them about within 60 to 90 minutes of my workout. I'm drinking them a little bit later in the day right now. I worked out earlier today and I'm now just getting around to drinking them. But optimal time to drink them is in that 60 to 90 minute window. They are amazing for boosting protein synthesis. They deliver all 9 essential amino acids. They taste really good. They're good for muscle recovery, building muscle, and I'm all about them. I actually listened to the owner on a podcast and he sold me. Like, I just hearing everything he had to say about them and the product that he created, I was really impressed. And so I've been really liking them. And they taste really good. I like the watermelon flavor. I also love implementing stuff into my routine that is easy and simple and that helps me build muscle. Like, if it's going to help me build muscle, I'm going to do it. You know, like, especially just at the point I am with body recomp, I love trying all the new little things. And you know me, I love a routine. And I drink my electrolytes before my coffee. I have my coffee. I drink my Kion aminos after my coffee. Like, I've just kind of seamlessly transitioned the aminos into my routine and I'm loving them. So watermelon's my favorite. Let me know if you try them and if you like them, but I am definitely a big fan. Sorry if I just swallowed in the mic. I never drink water when I podcast, and after I am so parched, and towards the end of the episode sometimes I'm like, feel like I'm gasping for air and just my throat is dry. And so, yeah, we'll see how that sounds on camera with me drinking. Hopefully it's not distracting, but it's hard when you're talking to yourself too, because you don't really get a break. Like, podcasting alone is like a different beast. Like, you have to banter with yourself. You have to fill in the blanks. If you forget a word, you have to just kind of move past it in a seamless way, which is hard sometimes. So I'm learning the art of podcasting alone. Although I do want to have guests on in the future, and that is in like my long-term plan. But bear with me as I sip on these aminos throughout this episode. Okay, let's get into Accutane. Let's get into my honest and unfiltered Accutane journey. I have been off of Accutane for, oh my gosh, I finished up about 9 months ago, almost 9 months ago. So I feel like I have a good perspective on what happens to your skin after, what happened to my skin after I finished, and like my whole experience doing it. I kind of want to paint the picture for you guys. I want to go back to when I first started dealing with acne, which was I had mild acne in high school, but I never dealt with cystic acne in high school. My horrible cystic acne started in my mid-20s. Like, I would get a zit here and there in college and in high school, but it was nothing ever like detrimental to it never looked like awful. It was just kind of like normal little breakouts here and there, which is a normal part of like life, you know, for most people. But during my mid-20s, that's when that gnarly, horrific cystic acne started to form. And if you're listening to this and you're not really well versed with acne, cystic acne is like underneath the skin. It'll swell and it looks like it like bulges out of your skin, but it doesn't always pop, which is so frustrating. That's like the worst part of cystic acne is if you pop it, you almost are creating a worse monster because it never really goes away. It's kind of like a volcano. Like, it'll come up and then go back down, come up and then go back down. And that's what I really started to experience in my skin, especially on my jawline, my neck, and then like random parts of my face. Sometimes my forehead would break out, but mainly it was on my jawline, my cheek area, and my neck, which was just horrible. And it was really hard to deal with. I have tried almost everything under the sun, or I did try a lot of stuff. So I did tretinoin, which is a topical kind of like acne treatment. That was awful. I had a horrible experience with tretinoin. It literally made my eyes swollen shut. It kind of gave me dermatitis. It really irritated my skin. Like, tretinoin, I don't have a good experience with that. Because of my experience, I wouldn't recommend it. I have sensitive skin, but like, wow, that shit is gnarly, and my skin did not like it. I was on spironolactone for years. I think it worked in the beginning, but then it kind of started to stop working. I did doxycycline, same thing. Maybe worked a little bit in the beginning, but there was never any like long-term solution with that. And then I have been on a few different birth controls. I was on the pill for a little bit in high school. My body had a horrible reaction to the pill. And then I got the IUD, and I had the I had 2 IUDs over the course of like 7 years. And the IUD didn't help my acne. I don't know if it hurt or created acne. I had, for the most part, a good experience with the IUD. Until I didn't, which I can do a whole other episode on birth control and my experience with the IUD and all that stuff if you guys are curious, because I'm not on birth control. I've been birth control free for like over a year and a half now. Best decision I ever made was getting off birth control. So yeah, I've tried a lot of like the topical stuff to help acne and some of the oral stuff as well. That's not as intense as Accutane. And when my skin was the worst, like when it was at its worst, I was experiencing the severe cystic acne and then extreme melasma and hyperpigmentation. Melasma is, once again, a different type of beast. If you experience melasma, you know what I'm talking about right now. And I know that you are on a walk or driving in your car and you're like nodding your head like, girlfriend, I understand, because it is so hard to deal with melasma. It comes back with vengeance and it's really hard to get rid of. It also will flare up with different hormonal changes, different temperatures, different times of the year with sun exposure and heat. It's just the worst thing. So my melasma was at an all-time, like it was really bad. And then the cystic acne was really bad. And acne was something that really affected my confidence. I'm almost like not ashamed to talk about this because I know it's something like everyone has different things that trigger, like different emotions with confidence and mental health and emotional health. And acne for me was just so hard on my mental health. I would call my mom crying every single day. At this point, when I was kind of going through the trenches with the acne, I was single and then also sometimes like talking to my ex at that point. So I wasn't in like the best space in that realm, but I would call my mom crying every day and just sob to her about how like ugly I felt, how insecure I was, and how horrible this made me feel. And I was like really starting to become a shell of a human and not the best version of myself. I was a lot more somber and I reclused more. And it was hard too because my job, obviously a lot of my job is showing my face and body online. And I was really transparent about the acne. Like I never hid my acne. You can go back and watch my videos. You'll see it on my face. I never blurred it. I was really, really committed to, even though this was so hard for me to show and I was embarrassed, I also was like, well, this is me. Like if you see me at the gym, I want you to see me for exactly who I am. Like I want to look better in person than I do online. So that was a tough part too. I feel like actually it connected me with my community more. Like I got a lot of sweet DMs from girls who were dealing with acne or who had dealt with it. But it was people who came at me that were like, you are, preaching health and wellness, but you have horrible acne, like something's wrong with you, or you need to do this. Or it was just like those type of comments were a little bit more triggering, but I kind of just ignored them. And I appreciated the kind advice that I would get from girls. I think that's always appreciated. I always welcome that advice, but it was people that were like putting me in a box or judging me because of my acne that was really hard to deal with, because I'm like, listen, I'm out here just doing the best job I can and I'm showing my acne. I'm being transparent. Once again, sometimes in the space of having a business that's marketed through social media, it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So I just chose to obviously share it. I'm always transparent about things that I get done, or like I said, I was transparent about my acne, but it was really hard to deal with some of the feedback that I would get online. And I definitely turned to therapy to help me with the acne struggle, which was very helpful. Like I remember walking into therapy and my therapist I actually don't know how old he is. I think he's in like his late 40s, early 40s, but he's, a dad, 4 kids. He's an amazing therapist. And one of the reasons I love my therapist is because he gives it to me straight. He will put me in my place. He gives incredible advice, incredible guidance. He's not in any way like rude or not warm. Like he's a very warm, kind person, but I like his therapy approach because although he will sympathize with me and help me through things, he also will be like, listen, you need to get out of your head. You need to go on a date. You need to go put makeup on. You need to go be social. And he kind of gave me little challenges and goals throughout the week. He would be like, "Okay, you need to go on one date this week." And I'd be like, "Okay, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to put on a shit ton of makeup to cover it. And I'm going to go on the date. I'm going to have a good time." Like, that's what I kind of started to do, which was really good advice because dating at that point was like a no for me. I was so insecure. And I am not, if you know me, I'm not an insecure girl. Like, I know who I am. Obviously, we all have our bad days and we have our insecure moments and seasons. But for the most part, like, I know who I am from my internal values. And at that point, this is like what, kind of closer to 2 years ago, I was kind of in the trenches with it. I was struggling with my internal values, and I was putting so much of an emphasis on my external look that I was forgetting who I was inside. And it was just, yeah, it was a recipe for disaster. And so that's why I'm really grateful that I had therapy at that point to like get me out of the house, get me out of my head, give me a little tough love. We all need a little tough love sometimes. And so he was really helpful in, like I said, kind of helping me see the bigger picture and zooming out and saying, your problem is acne. Let's look at other people's problems. And I was like, you're right. You are so right. Not that my problem isn't valid or my feelings aren't valid, but I think perspective is important. And it was really good for me to be able to see a bigger picture and get out of my little bubble of like, my world is ending because I have cystic acne. So during the time of me trying different things, I mean, I've tried every skincare line out there. I've done every facial, I've spent like, I think I added it up before I started Accutane. It was like over 10 grand on skincare, like in 1 year, like just insane. But I was so desperate to like fix it. And I was also willing to do the work. Like, I not only spent so much money on all these different skincare lines and facials and treatments and all the things, but I did liver cleanses. I worked with a holistic practitioner that was not cheap. I cut out gluten, dairy, refined sugar. I changed my entire life to try to help and fix the acne. And once again, this is just my experience. I know some girls might cut out dairy and their acne goes away, and that's amazing. But for me, it only made it worse. Like, I feel like cutting out all of the food groups or a lot of food groups only made me more stressed. I was so committed to as well to do no dairy, no gluten, that during that time of dating, like, a guy would take me on a date and I'd be like so stressed out because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where are we gonna go to dinner? Am I gonna be able to find something to eat? Like, I am not like weird when it comes to restaurants and food. Like, I love all food. I'm a foodie. I love going to restaurants. I love dairy, gluten, all the things. So it was really stressful to have to like navigate that with dating, and just, I felt like annoying, and it's just because it's not who I was. Like, I was someone that, like I said, I love all food. I kind of pride myself on not cutting out anything in extremes because my body tolerates it for the most part pretty well. And it was just a really hard season in that realm of like dating with a lot of acne. But like I said, therapy kind of, was a helpful tool in that season. And I think that after I had tried, also, if you're hearing a siren, sorry. But after I had tried all of the skincare protocols, the diet changes, the different doctors, dermatologists, holistic practitioners, it got me to a point of, I'm ready to do Accutane. Like, I remember calling my mom and being like, I'm doing Accutane. And she was like, okay, do it. Like, I think my parents were a little bit, there's so much fear mongering with Accutane, which is why I'm excited to do this episode to talk about it. Like, Accutane now is not scary to me. But before I started it, the fear mongering with it was so intense. And like, maybe it was just my algorithm that was feeding me these videos of people having like horror stories on Accutane. But I was really scared to do it. And I don't know. Looking back now, I didn't need to be scared. So if you are someone that is scared to do Accutane, I think it's always good to do your own research, but you also need to look at the lifestyle you're living before doing Accutane. I live, I would say, a very healthy life. I aspire to live a healthy life. I make sure I get enough sleep. I eat really good. I try to supplement properly. I get blood work done periodically. I work out every day. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs, And every once in a while, I'll dabble with an edible, which I never talked about. But I live a very clean life for the most part. Okay. And I think that's important when doing Accutane, because I think Accutane can exacerbate other problems if you are dealing with like a lot of depression or anxiety or, mental health issues. That can exacerbate it, but I think it's good to be in a good mindset and just have a very positive mindset when doing Accutane. When I started Accutane, I was committed to doing affirmations every day. I would look in the mirror, I would say, my skin loves Accutane. I'm so excited to do this. I'm going to have such a positive experience. I only talked positively about Accutane. If someone said something negative, I would ignore them and I would smile and I would say something positive. I was very, very positive about it because I really believe the energy you put out is the energy you get. And I think that can translate into so many different things in your life. And in this situation for me, I definitely think putting positive energy out with Accutane gave me a positive experience. Call me woo-woo, call me crazy, but I really stand by that. And I definitely think that attributed to me having such a good and positive experience with it. When I started on Accutane, let's see here. I want to make sure I'm like answering questions as I'm like storytelling my experience. I started on 30 milligrams a day for the first 2 months, and I really didn't see a big change at all. They wanted to start me a little bit lower, which I understand, and I was receptive to. But after like 6 weeks, I was getting a little bit frustrated because I'm like, all right, I'm not purging, which is great, but I'm also not seeing any type of change. And then when I upped it to 60 milligrams, so 30 milligrams in the morning and 30 milligrams at night, that's when I started to notice a little bit of a change in my skin, which was really motivating. I actually did Accutane through Honeydew. Although I have health insurance, it's just kind of a nightmare to get into your dermatologist through my health insurance. Like I remember trying to get an appointment. I have Kaiser, and I remember trying to get an appointment with dermatology, and it was like a 6-month wait or something. And I'm like, all right, I'm not doing that. So I ended up working with Honeydew. It's like an online dermatology program, and I think it's like $30 to $45 a month. And I actually had a really good experience with it. So you do monthly check-ins, you do progress pictures, you have a few phone calls, and they help manage like your iPledge account, the pregnancy test you have to take, all of that stuff. So it was a really good experience, but doing Accutane is definitely tedious and kind of annoying. And there are lifestyle changes that you have to make if you want to do Accutane. So the lifestyle changes that I made is I stopped waxing my brows. Like you can't do any type of waxing when you do Accutane because your skin is so fragile and it gets a little bit thinner and it's more sensitive. You can't drink alcohol, or you're advised not to drink alcohol. I don't drink, so that really wasn't a problem for me. And then they require you to be on, I don't want to butcher this, but I think it's 1 or 2 forms of birth control, or you have to sign like an abstinent form through iPledge, and I chose abstinence. And I talked about a few episodes ago how I like pretty much like stopped having sex, and I like with dating especially, and I just like not only did that align with my spiritual views, but it also aligned with my Accutane journey. So it kind of just all synced up together, and I was like, yeah, I'm not having sex, I'm choosing abstinence, and I'm going to be really like diligent and committed to that, which I was. So if you do Accutane, you either need to be abstinent or you do have to be on 1 or 2 forms of birth control. And then because there's really bad birth defects that can happen if you do get pregnant. So I think this is like something to be talked about. Like it's really serious and you need to take it seriously. If you are going to do Accutane, there are, consequences if you get pregnant for the baby. So I took that very seriously. Next thing is I limited my sun exposure. I'm in Orange County. So the sun, the UV is strong majority of the year. And that was something I was really worried about because I didn't want to not be able to go to the beach or, just be stressed out about walking outside. And ultimately for me, I noticed the only part of my body that had a more intense reaction to sun exposure was my neck and my face. So the rest of my body though was fine. Like just for me personally, maybe it's because I have olive skin, but I didn't have any type of issues with sunburns other than I kept my face and neck covered the entire time. I never put my face in the sun. I wore sunscreen on my neck and face every single day. So I was very, very diligent and rigid with my like sunscreen application on my chest and face area. And then I did adjust my skincare routine. So I threw out the tens of thousands of dollars I spent on skincare. And I just did a Cetaphil, a very gentle cleanser, and a moisturizer, and Aquaphor. That's all I started when I started my Accutane process, or started the Accutane process. So those were like the lifestyle changes I made. I did not adjust my workout routine. I didn't change my diet. I did supplement differently, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, ultimately it wasn't this like major, I didn't need to make major lifestyle changes. The only negative experience, or the only negative side effects I experienced on Accutane was dry mouth, dry lips, fragile skin. So with like my skin would break easier if I tried to pick, or the sun exposure was definitely something that I noticed a difference in. I had mild purging, and then I had dry scalp. And I did have some nosebleeds. But if you listened to a few episodes ago, I've struggled with nosebleeds my entire life. I told a horror dating story of when I got a bloody nose on a guy, which is, yeah, you can go listen back to that one. But the nosebleeds were just, I mean, it wasn't like every day. It was just periodically throughout my Accutane experience. So really the negative side effects weren't that bad. They were very manageable. They were very doable. The dry mouth was the most annoying one, I will say. It's just like, it was tough. Like my mouth was just constantly dry, which is just an annoying thing. So I was constantly drinking water, constantly chewing gum, dry lips. I mean, I had Aquaphor on 24/7, but it wasn't like my skin was like peeling off, or I had this insane shedding process, or extreme dry skin. It was not like that at all. It was just like a normal dry skin. My lips are definitely drier, but it wasn't anything that was like life altering or debilitating. It didn't like affect my day-to-day life. The fragile skin is something that I will say be aware of. Like when I was on Accutane, I had to stop picking completely. I had to commit to not picking my skin, because your skin just breaks so easily. And once it breaks, it scars. And I will say your skin doesn't recover as quickly on Accutane. Like I would try to like pop a zit, and if it wasn't ready, it would be like an extra 1 to 2 weeks. I would notice like there was definitely a lag in the healing process. So once I figured that out, I was like, all right, I got to stop picking, and I got to just let this stuff run its course through my skin. The purging was not bad. I'll be super honest. I was so scared of the purging. Oh my gosh. I got on the wrong side of TikTok before I started Accutane, and it was all of these people's purging processes and purging videos. And I was just like, dear Lord, please let that not be my experience, because the purging is really scary. And so I understand I had the same fear. I was very nervous, but once again, positive affirmations. We're speaking kindly about ourselves. We're giving Accutane all the positive energy. And ultimately my purging was not that bad. And my dermatologist did say, she told me, because I told her before I started, I'm like, I'm terrified of the purging. And she said, your purging usually for 99% of people, your purging won't be worse than your worst breakout. And then I was like, okay, that put it into context for me. And I said, that makes me feel like I can do it. And if my purging is as worse as my worst breakout, I've gotten through it before, so I will get through it again. So the purging wasn't that bad, although there was a purging period. It wasn't anything that was different than my normal acne. That was my experience with it. And then the dry scalp, you guys, like, why did I like the dry scalp? Like my hair was not oily at all. It was so dry. I remember I got away with not washing my hair for like a good amount of time. I probably wash my hair twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week right now. But when I was on Accutane, it was like once a week, and my hair just looked good every day. It had volume. I didn't have any hair loss or anything like that. I know that's a side effect that can happen, but I really leaned into the dry scalp. Even my hairstylist, Kenzie, when I would go get my hair done on Accutane, she would always tell me, she's like, wow, your hair is like not oily at all. Like there's so much volume. It feels pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, it's the Accutane. I did oil my hair every night though. Sorry, I left that detail out. I did put a ton of oil in my hair and on my scalp every night, which is crazy. Like I would literally take oil and like massage it into my scalp before I went to bed. And I would wake up and it would be like, poof, like it's gone. No oil left, no residue, nothing. So I do recommend, if you are experiencing dry scalp, you can always oil your hair a lot. I do think that's why my hair stayed very healthy during my Accutane process is because I did do a lot of hair oil. Also, anything that I'm talking about, I'll link down below. So if I'm talking about products or anything like that, I will link it all down below so you guys can check that out if you are curious about anything I'm talking about. Okay, combating the dryness. So obviously, like I said, mildly dry skin, dry lips, dry mouth. I did supplement with omega-3s during the omega-3 fatty acids during my Accutane journey. I took 4 a day. So this really helps with like joint lubrication. Sorry, I just used that word, but like it lubricates your joints. It's good for reducing dryness. It helps with inflammation. So I was taking 4 to 6 of those a day, and that was really helpful. I also did a low dose of vitamin E, which can help counteract extreme dryness. It supports healing and like your skin barrier repair. I've always taken probiotics, but I made sure to be taking a probiotic while on Accutane to help with like any gut imbalances. I had no issues with bloating, digestion, or anything like that on Accutane. It was yeah, I had never noticed anything in that realm, but I do think taking a probiotic just in general is a really good thing. I've actually taken quite a few different probiotics, and my favorites right now are the seed probiotic and the refresh one. I'll link those down below. Okay, sorry. Sipping on my aminos because the throat is dry and I don't want to start sounding like I smoke a pack a day, because sometimes my voice gets so hoarse at the end of the day or at the end of a podcast. Okay, let's move into the side effects that I didn't experience. So there's a bunch of different side effects, and I just talked about the ones I did experience, and the ones I didn't experience. I did not have muscle aches or joint pain. I did not adjust my workout routine in any way, shape, or form before going on Accutane. I didn't experience hair loss. I didn't experience mood swings, depression, and actually my mental health skyrocketed because once I started to do Accutane and my skin got better, I like was Hannah again. I feel like I was myself. I was dating. I was confident. Like, oh my gosh, my mental health drastically improved from going on Accutane. So, those are some of the common side effects that I think I was scared of before starting, and I didn't experience those for me personally. With the dryness, one more thing is I would really layer on that moisturizer at night. I never slugged my face. I don't know if I don't think I remember slugging my face, but I did just use that gentle cleanser and then a thick moisturizer. And that really helped my skin barrier and just helping me stay a little bit more hydrated. Also, Accutane is a slow burn. Okay. It takes like 3 to 4 months to work. I would say after month 3, I started to notice small changes in my acne, and they were small. So don't be discouraged if you start Accutane and you're not seeing results in 6 weeks, you're not seeing results in 8 weeks. It takes up to 12 weeks sometimes. Like mine was like during that 12 to 16 week mark. And it was weird because this is kind of like gross, maybe. I don't know. It's not gross to me, but like my acne, this is really weird, but my pores were like extracting all of the acne out of it, and it would like slough off. Like I remember the pores on my nose. I would just lightly touch my nose and the acne, like these like blackheads would come out and just like slough off. It was the craziest thing, but it was magical. I'm like, get out of my skin. Like the acne was just coming out, and I was like, yes, get out of my skin and don't come back. So that was like kind of weird, but also exciting because I was like, okay, the Accutane's working. It's in my system. Like it's getting rid of it. And then I would say months 4 to 5 is when I really started to have that clear skin. I mean, it is insane what it does to your skin. I mean, the melasma was gone. The hyperpigmentation was minimal. My cystic acne was gone. Like my face was butter. Okay. I like am still amazed at the transformation it had when I was like that 4 to 5 month mark, where the acne really was gone. Like I don't really know where it went, but some of it sloughed off, like I said, but I was just so happy to have the clear skin. And I also don't know how it got rid of the melasma. That to me still is like, how the hell did it get rid of that? But it was just an incredible journey towards the end, and I was so happy and just so happy and grateful that I did it. And yeah, that's like kind of the story of my Accutane journey. I would 100% do it again. It was 100% worth it. Let's talk about the aftermath of getting off Accutane to like wrap up this episode. After I got off Accutane, my skin was perfect for, I would say, like 4 to 5 months. It was perfect. It almost just was like I didn't even get off Accutane. Like it was really, really nice. I had no breakouts, nothing. And then I started to have these little tiny kind of zits, nothing crazy. Like I'm talking like almost just like clogged pores. And it's really stressful. Like I feel like when you are someone that has dealt with cystic acne and you get off Accutane and you feel a little tiny clogged pore, you're like, oh no, do I need to go on Accutane again? I remember calling my mom like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling a zit coming through. What do I do? Like, should I get on it again? And I only did Accutane for 8 months. And she would, reassure me, it's fine. Everything's fine. Like, it's normal to have a little bit of texture here and there. And as I've been navigating whether to do Accutane again or not, because like in the past 2 months, like I've talked about on different episodes, I have experienced some texture and some cystic pimples. I feel like it's not bad enough for me to do Accutane. So overall, I feel like my acne has not come back with vengeance. I've had little breakouts here and there and some texture issues, but nothing that's like debilitating acne or nothing that kind of feels like it's not solvable with other things. I am currently working with an esthetician in Newport, Liberty at Skin Spirit. She's amazing. And I'm on a very simple skincare line. I will link the skincare products I'm using down below. I am loving these products. So I'll link them. It's very simple, but they are like medical grade skincare. And it's been a really good process with Liberty. And she's been kind of like just helping me navigate some of the texture issues and clogged pores and stuff. So I feel like I'm fixing it with just like good skincare. I am never going to be a 12-step skincare gal again. Like I've had that season of my life. It's not for me. It's too much for my skin. I have very sensitive skin. I've told Liberty I want 3 products. That's it. So I have a very simple morning skincare routine and a very simple evening skincare routine. My next thing I want to tackle is like the scarring and some of the hyperpigmentation. Melasma right now is better for me, and it's because it's not super hot outside. When I'm in the sun a lot during the summer, my melasma flares up a lot, especially above my upper lip and like above my forehead. I have pockets on my cheeks. So trying to kind of deal with that, I guess, right now, along with the hyperpigmentation. And Liberty has some stuff like in alignment that I'm going to do, some facials and stuff. And I'll be super transparent about all that. I'll share online, I'm sure, of like the facials that I get. But I'm trying to combat those texture and kind of clogged pore issues and minor cystic acne with just some skin treatments and skincare products. So overall, I'm so happy that I did Accutane. It changed my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but it did change my life. It changed my confidence. My dad also did 2 rounds of Accutane. So I think some of my acne was genetic. And that's what some dermatologists did tell me, is like you just have like the genetic predispositioned acne, which is so unfair because like my brothers have perfect skin and then I got the acne, but I also got the height. So you can't have it all. But my dad did do Accutane twice and he had a really good experience. So yeah, I think it was kind of like a ticking time bomb from when I was going to do Accutane, and I'm so glad I did it. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to DM me. You can leave a comment down below. I know if you are someone who is dealing with acne, I just want to hug you through the mic, through the phone. Like I just know how hard it is to deal with it and how frustrating it can be when you feel like you're doing everything. I feel like the girls that have gone through cystic acne or who are currently dealing with really only understand how hard it can be on like the mental health. And so I just want you to know I've been through it. I'm on the other side of it, and it's a day by day thing. You can always reach out to me in DMs. I'm always here to help you or just be like a shoulder to cry on in a sense, because I know how hard it is and how debilitating it can be. And yeah, that's my acne journey. Let me know if you guys have questions. I will link everything down below, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday, and I'll see you next week.